Okay now, sweetie, this isn't gonna hurt at all.
Ah, those lying bastards at Johnson & Johnson!
We'll put no more tears on the label.
But it does make you cry.
I know.
As long as I can remember, Johnson's baby powder's been making me feel soft, fresh, and loved.
Trusted brand used in homes all across America for decades.
Talc product causes ovarian cancer.
Johnson & Johnson's baby powder.
When I think of baby powder, I think of something innocent. It's targeted to babies, so it has to be safe and soft and smell good and keep you fresh. Never, but it turned out to be.
Johnson & Johnson has been accused of knowing of studies that suggested there's a link between using baby powder genitally and ovarian cancer.
Johnson & Johnson seems like one of these companies that over the years has had some really serious allegations leveled against it.
A jury ordering Johnson & Johnson to pay a record $4.7 billion over allegations its iconic baby powder causes cancer.
A Reuters review of documents found that the U.S. pharmaceutical giant was aware of trace amounts of asbestos in its raw talc and finished powders between 1971 and the early 2000s.
J&J occupies what I call a position of trust in this country. But the more I dug into it, the more I looked at the research, I said, well, there's some smoke. Is there fire? And there are many people who say that there's not just fire, but it's a wildfire.
Johnson & Johnson has been responsible for contributing or causing more than 2 million American deaths over the last 50-odd years, and that's more deaths than have died in all of America's wars combined.
You trusted it on your baby's soft skin. You trusted it after every bath.
It's not just a baby's delicate skin that's protected by natural oils. Yours is too. Only Johnson's Baby Moisturizing Bath has Johnson's Baby Oil to help seal in moisture and prevent dryness. Baby soft skin. For baby. For you. Johnson's. From the day you were born.
But what if the soft, white powder that smelled so clean was silently laced with one of the deadliest poisons on Earth?
Baby powder used to be made of talc. It's basically a silicate-based organic compound that grows in the ground. It has a very like-minded compound called asbestos that grows in the same places. And when you mine talc, in many instances, you're going to find asbestos there.
Tonight, the true story of how Johnson & Johnson's baby powder may have poisoned millions, destroyed lives, and how they kept the secret locked away for decades, right under your nose. Talc is a mineral mined from deep underground. Sadly, asbestos often forms in the same rock veins. Separating them perfectly? Almost impossible. That's why scientists have called talc mining a Russian roulette with asbestos for over half a century. And yet, that little bottle on your bathroom shelf, the one you trusted most, may have been the deadliest thing in your home. Let's roll back to 1894. Johnson & Johnson, an ambitious American company, launches baby powder to treat diaper rash. It was an instant hit. Within decades, it wasn't just medicine. It was a symbol of perfect mothers. Hospitals handed it out in maternity wards. Doctors recommended it. Ads featured smiling babies and reassured mothers. Gentle, pure, trusted by experts.
Ever since I was a little girl, Johnson's baby powder has made me feel soft, fresh, and loved.
From the start of your life, it's been a part of your life. It's a feeling you never outgrow. Johnson's baby powder is a feeling you never outgrow.
Even Hollywood helped sell the myth. Glamorous movie stars used baby powder to keep makeup in place. Athletes dusted it on for freshness. It wasn't just for babies. It was for everyone. Behind the scenes, talc was dirt cheap, easy to market, and felt amazing on the skin. But few knew that talc deposits often hide asbestos fibers, the same asbestos that once killed thousands of shipyard workers and construction laborers. By the 1950s, company scientists were raising quiet red flags. But in the public eye, baby powder was a fairy tale in a bottle. Inside Johnson & Johnson, the image of innocence was cracking. Internal reports from the 1950s to 1970s clearly mention asbestos contamination. Scientists debated. Could they filter it better? Should they warn the public? Should they stop selling talc altogether? One memo bluntly stated, "We do not recommend this information be shared with outside parties." Another warned that asbestos in talc could cause serious legal exposure if it ever got out. Asbestos is a certified carcinogen. Inhaling microscopic fibers can cause lung scarring, mesothelioma, and aggressive ovarian cancers. Experts say there's no safe dose. One particle could trigger a lifetime of pain.
Talc and asbestos are chemically identical. The only difference between the two is a little bit of pressure and time as to whether those chemicals form into talc deposits or they form in asbestos deposit. And basically, Johnson & Johnson began to understand this problem in the 1950s and the 1960s. Now, in the 50s and 60s, these small contaminations, and these tests showed that up to 3 to 5% of baby powder was asbestos in the early years. So it didn't seem like kind of a big deal. But science began to discover in the 1960s and the 1970s that even microscopic quantities of asbestos could cause cancer, particularly a cancer of the lining of the lung, which is known as mesothelioma.
Johnson & Johnson faced a choice: protect public health or protect profits. They chose silence, and the powder kept selling, decade after decade. Fast forward to the 1980s and beyond, mothers, grandmothers, daughters, all diagnosed with ovarian cancer. Some developed mesothelioma, a rare lung cancer usually tied to asbestos workers. But these were not minors, they were everyday people. One woman, Dean Berg, made headlines in 2009 as the first to win a lawsuit linking her ovarian cancer to decades of talc use. Her victory opened the floodgates. Soon, thousands of victims came forward. Elderly women testified, "If I'd known, I would never have put it on my baby girl."
In St. Louis found that Johnson & Johnson should pay $4.7 billion in damages to 22 women who said their ovarian cancer was caused by asbestos in the company's signature baby powder.
Between 2016 and 2020, juries awarded billions in damages. Some verdicts were overturned on appeal, but the pattern was clear. The courts found the company had hidden the truth for decades, risking lives for profit. When the verdicts piled up and media scrutiny turned white-hot, Johnson & Johnson quietly stopped selling talc powder in North America. But they never admitted wrongdoing. They just changed the label and tried to vanish from headlines. Even as you watch this video today, talc-based baby powder is sold in parts of Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Millions trust it, unaware of the poison mixed in each puff. While North America switched to cornstarch, other nations weren't so lucky, and the same hidden danger travels across borders. Activists and scientists continue testing samples. Some studies still find traces of asbestos. Victims in poorer countries rarely know to sue, and many have no idea what talc and asbestos even mean. Experts warn that even if production ends, decades of contaminated product will stay in homes and store shelves. The cleanup is far from over, and so is the legal battle. Behind closed doors, Johnson & Johnson has shifted thousands of lawsuits into bankruptcy court, a move critics call a trick to dodge bigger payouts. The fight for justice continues, but the clock ticks for many victims who may never see a dollar. For over a century, Johnson & Johnson said, "Trust us. We care for your family." Parents believed them. Doctors trusted them. Whole generations sprinkled that deadly dust on tiny bodies, never imagining it could steal futures. Today, countless families grieve mothers, daughters, grandmothers who trusted too blindly. Here's the brutal lesson. Never trust the label alone. Dig deeper. Read the ingredients. Ask questions, even when the product looks harmless and says pure. Because if this powder could hide a secret death sentence for 100 years, what else is hiding in plain sight? In your bathroom, your pantry, your medicine cabinet. Next time you buy Safe and Gentle, Remember, sometimes poison wears a friendly face.